Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Caves of Cud. So before we get started here today, I just want to thank everybody for a couple of things. I went back and I read the comments on the previous episodes, and I really appreciate that people gave some advice about how to manipulate the game, how to change things in the some things that could be changed in the options and stuff, without outright telling me like, hey, here are the powerful strategies, or ruining any of the weird surprises that I'm sure we have coming up. So thank you very much, everyone, for being very measured and considerate in your advice giving. And also, I just want to thank people for the positive reception that the series has gotten, the general good vibes in the comments. I'm always a little nervous when I do something that's sort of outside of the norm here on the channel, and I think that's a fairly good description of Caves of Cud, but people seem to be really into it, which is really cool. You know, I try not to say this kind of stuff very often, because I know that as an audience member, I don't particularly like being pandered to, and I know there's a lot of creators on YouTube who spend a lot of time pandering to their audiences, but I really do appreciate, I feel like I have one of the best communities on this site. People are very thoughtful and considerate, and it's nice, you know, it's just nice down in the comments a lot of the time, which is, well, I mean, I already said it, it's nice. Anyway, let's get in here and do some stuff. So I think we now know enough about the game systems to try creating our own character, rather than rolling random. I think we learned a lot from rolling random, probably faster than we would have otherwise, but the time has come to try to start manipulating the systems now that we begin to understand them. So we start with a choice between mutated and truekin. I guess truekin just means not mutated. The mutated human has moderate starting attributes, the truekin gets higher ones, and access to cybernetics, and 20 bonus skill points per level, and extra resistances, and can shout at robots. I mean, listen, anybody can shout at robots, but it seems like if you're truekin, they might actually listen. And also 600 reputation with Putus Templar, which is a thing that we do not know the value of yet. So I guess mutations must be way better than cybernetics. It's the only way I can see these balancing out. You know what? Let's go mutated human now, because I'm kind of curious. I want to see the list of the mutations you get to choose from at the beginning, and we'll try a truekin maybe for our next character and play with the cybernetic systems. Okay, so first up, buying our attribute points. We have 44 points remaining, but it looks like, given the 1 point to augment thing there, that we probably have a sliding scale of costs. Okay, yeah, it gets up to 2 points. Where's the changeover? At 18. Okay. That's interesting. So we had 44, so there's enough for everything to be here. I'm just gonna bump everything up to 17, and we're gonna add and subtract from there. So that seems to be like the midpoint. Alright, what do we really care about? I guess at this point we have to start deciding what we want this character to actually do, right? I don't want to exactly recreate our last character or anything, but agility does seem very valuable, and also, you know, ranged weapons. Why would you fight in melee when you could just run away from your enemies when they try to approach you? So why don't we pump... Let's pump agility up to like 20. So what do we want to pull out of? Toughness is natural healing rate, number of hit points, and ability to resist poison and disease, and it looks like, yeah, okay, it's just 1 point of toughness equals 1 hit point, so probably not that. That doesn't seem like the first thing you'd want to drop. Intelligence determines skill points and your ability to examine artifacts. We really haven't gotten a lot of use out of artifacts yet. My guess is that that's going to turn out to be pretty important in a longer game, but we could take this down to 16 without any real detriment. I think that's probably worth doing. So we gotta find 2 more points somewhere to get this up to 20. Willpower is cooldowns of activated abilities, ability to resist mental attacks, and modifies your natural healing rate. Well, if we leave our toughness in a reasonable position, it probably won't matter too much for healing rate purposes if our willpower is kind of low. We might dump willpower a little bit. And then I think I really don't want to lower ego. Ego seems really important. Especially if you are interested in dominating the wills of other living creatures, which of course we are. So why don't we pull... like this. Okay, I think that's a reasonable start. I'd like to get ego up, probably, to at least +1. And again, I'm not trying to reproduce our last character exactly, but I think we're learning some things about which systems are important to engage with. I wish I had a better sense of how exactly it determines your intelligence, determines your number of skill points, because there's no math here. Is it... I mean, it's probably the case that each point of intelligence is worth X skill points on level up. I just wish I knew what X was. And it may well be that, like, you always get 30 plus 2 times intelligence or something, you know. So it's hard to know exactly what the impact of taking intelligence down to -1 is. But I think I'm going to. We're going to boost ego, and then we have an extra... Like, maybe we do this? I think that looks okay. Obviously, not quite expert enough with the system to know where we should min and where we should max just yet, but let's try this thing. So, mutations. No, I don't want to go forward. Sorry, I was trying to expand the thing. So, first we have morphotypes. You may only manifest physical, you may only manifest mental. So wait, do these give points, or... Huh. Why would you pay 1 point to lose access to a category of mutations? Maybe I'm not understanding this system right. What does unstable genome do? You gain an extra mutation, but it doesn't manifest right away. Whenever you gain a level, there's a 33% chance your genome destabilizes, and you get to choose from 3 random mutations. Okay, that's interesting. I do not think we're going to take it, but it's interesting. So maybe you are always either a Chimera or an Esper, and when we pick something, it's gonna... No, it locked us out of Esper, but it only took 4 points. It didn't actually take Chimera, so it... Boy, with my limited understanding of the systems, the way they work now, it seems like picking Chimera or Esper is just paying 1 point for literally no benefit. If these do something else, they probably ought to say it right here. I guess we'll just ignore them for now. How many mutations are there? Oh, there's just a ton. Oh, just a huge number. And then there's defects to give points back, and... Okay. Alright, buckle in, everybody. I'm just going to read this whole menu. We're going to have to do it at some point. It may as well be now. So, adrenal control. You regulate your body's release of adrenaline. It gives +5 quickness, and we don't exactly... I don't have a good sense of the value of quickness. Like, we know roughly what it does, but like I don't have an instinctive grasp of how good +5 is. You can also increase your body's adrenaline flow by up to 5 grades. Each grade gives you an extra +10 quickness and a 3% chance per round to exhaust yourself. When you exhaust yourself, you lose the bonus and then fall asleep 5 rounds later. That seems incredibly dangerous. You have 5 rounds to get yourself to safety or something? That seems... Boy, the cost of adrenal control seems very high. And again, I just don't have a good sense of how good the quickness is. But, I don't know, it might be really useful. The fact that it costs 4 mutation points suggests that it's very powerful. Burrowing Claws gives you fancy claws that can dig through the earth. You cannot wear gloves, but your claws give you armor value. And also a penetration bonus on melee attacks. 4 successful attacks dig through a wall. You know, honestly, that seems like it could be really useful. Although, again, the fact that it's not super high in cost makes me wonder. Maybe I'm overvaluing it. I guess I'm thinking about the areas that we've been in so far and whether or not it would actually have helped to dig through a wall. And there's only 1 or 2 times where it would have been really useful. You are protected by a durable carapace. +3 AV, -6 DV. I do not remember what DV stands for. It can't be damage value, right? There's no way having a carapace reduces your ability to deal damage to people. Especially not by that much. I don't know. So +3 AV, -6 DV, plus resistances. You may tighten your carapace to double the AV bonus, but you cannot wear armor. You get big reputation bonus with tortoises, because they look at you and they're like, ah, same man, I know we have the same struggles. And a 33% chance of becoming immobilized when knocked prone. That's funny. I don't know how often you get knocked prone. That might not actually be a big problem. That said, if you do get knocked prone and you get stuck on your back unable to get up, I bet you die. I bet you die a significant percentage of the time. Carnivorous. You don't get ill when you eat raw meat. You can eat raw meat without being famished, so apparently characters normally have to be extremely hungry to even try that. Meals of raw meat that you eat while hungry have a 10% chance to be tastier than usual. Is that a thing? I guess tastiness has a mechanical meaning. Meals cooked with selected meat ingredients have an additional 5% chance to be tastier than usual, but you get no satiation from foods that aren't meat, and you can get sick from them. Huh. I mean, jerky is meat, right? And we saw a fair amount of jerky available for sale from merchants. I guess let's not take carnivorous because we want a good reason to engage with the cooking systems, right? Corrosive gas generation costs 3 points. I have to say I was a little unimpressed with how little damage it was doing, but it probably was also really nuking people's armor, so probably the idea is you hit them with the corrosive gas, and then you melee attack them for a lot, rather than just trying to let the gas kill them itself. Double muscled is you are possessed of hulking strength, but your size renders your gait awkward and clumsy. +2 strength, -6 move speed, and a small chance to daze on successful melee attacks. Seems good. I'm assuming anything that gives you raw attribute points is going to be very expensive, because attribute points are a big deal. Electrical generation. You can accrue electrical charge. Accrue an additional charge every 10 rounds up to a max of 4. 1d4 damage per charge, and it arcs to nearby targets for a reduced amount. That seems pretty cool. Having a free ranged attack that's just building up all the time and you don't even have to think about seems like a big deal, so I could get why that is for 4 points. I'm really curious about the stuff we're seeing below that's even more than that, these flaming and freezing hands. We saw electromagnetic pulse. This seems okay. We don't really have a good sense of how many robotic enemies there are. So there's quite a few things that only work on electrical or robotic enemies. Eventually we'll have a good idea of how valuable those get. Flaming hands, pretty straightforward, you know, your hands shoot fire. A 9-square ray of flame in the direction of your choice. You cannot wear gloves, and the ray only does 1d4 plus 1 damage, but it has a cooldown of 10 rounds. It's really short. And then freezing hands, I'm assuming, is going to be very similar, but yeah, frost. It actually does less damage. I do not know if frost and flame damage types have other effects. It may be that, like, fire damage can set people on fire, but freezing slows them or something. I'm not gonna lie, freezing hands seems really cool. We might try it. Heightened hearing is pretty straightforward. Heightened quickness, we've seen this. Horns. Horns jut out of your head. 20% chance on melee attack to gore your opponent for 2d3. Goring attacks may cause bleeding, but you cannot wear helmets, and antelopes and goat folk will feel your pain. Multiple arms, we had this, we don't really have a good sense of like how to optimize it, but it seems like it would be really useful, especially if you're very melee focused. Multiple legs is just carry capacity and move speed, seems pretty good. Okay, honestly, night vision for the low cost, it seems like it would be pretty cool. Phasing. You may phase through solid objects for brief periods of time, so that's another way of defeating walls. I guess you'd have to be real sure of what's on the other side, though, because you do not want to get yourself stuck in a wall when the phasing ends. Photosynthetic skin. You replenish yourself by absorbing sunlight through your hardy green skin. You can bask in the sunlight instead of eating to gain a special metabolizing effect. Wow, +2 quickness plus healing rate. You also accuse starch and lignin that you can use as ingredients in meals you cook. That's really interesting. It seems pretty powerful, right? Like you just don't have to eat. I guess spending a long time underground's a bad idea, but who knows how long you actually spend underground, like in a stretch. Quills give you 300 quills. You may expel 10% of them in a burst around yourself. You regenerate 1d4 quills every 10 rounds. You have some extra armor value as long as you have at least half. Honestly, this seems cool except for the fact that you can't wear armor, which might turn out to be a really big deal defense-wise. Wounds heal very quickly. Oh hey, your limbs can get severed. I'm pretty sure that's a thing we didn't know before. Regeneration would help with that. Sleep gas. 1 round of just a burst of sleep gas. That, I can see that being very useful, especially for a character that doesn't want to be in melee. Slime glands let you spit slime at things. We don't really know what slime does. The spinnerets, I'm a big fan of. Thumbs up on spinnerets. Stinger, confusing venom. You bear a tail with a stinger that delivers a confusing venom. So 20% chance on a melee strike to hit with your stinger. The venom confuses them for 3d3 rounds. They act randomly and receive a mental penalty. May sting to guarantee a strike with your stinger, at +4 to hit and +2 penetration. So that's like you spend a whole action just to sting, you don't get the damage from your normal melee attack. Okay, that's interesting. You cannot wear equipment on your back, which doesn't really seem like that large of a cost. Okay, there's multiple stingers. The mechanics are all the same, but then obviously what the venom does is a little bit different. So paralyzing for 1d2 + 1 rounds. Thick fur is cool. Triple jointed. +2 agility, -1 strength, and a small chance to dodge a physical melee or ranged attacks. Yeah, that seems pretty alright. +2 agility seems like a really big deal. Two-headed. Mental actions have lower action costs. Small chance each round to shake off negative mental status effects, as one of your heads yells at the other one to get itself back in the game. Two-hearted. You are much healthier, but your complex circulatory system renders you slightly torpid. +2 quickness, or +2 toughness, -3% quickness. Small chance each round that you are badly wounded to regain some hit points. Yo, that seems great. Wings let you fly, obviously. 40% reduced chance of becoming lost. While outside, you may fly. Cannot be hit in melee by grounded creatures. That's what flying means. Okay. 5% chance of falling clumsily to the ground, and cannot wear anything on back. Again, seems real useful. So, let's have a look. Before we look at any of the defects, let's look at the positive mental mutations and figure out what positive stuff we might want to take. And then we'll start worrying about how many extra points we want to try to wring out of the negatives. So beguiling. You beguile a nearby creature into serving you loyally. Does it say here? It does not give it a duration, a maximum duration. It does tell us that beguiled creatures get bonus hit points, which is cool. And I'm assuming the values that are being shown here are level 1 of the mutation, right? Burgeoning causes plants to spontaneously grow in a nearby area, hindering your enemies. It does not do any damage or anything, though. Clairvoyance seems pretty cool. Confusion is not completely implemented at the moment. Hey, that's a good note. Probably will not consider this one then. Cryokinesis. Chill a nearby area with your mind. Okay, so it does slowly increasing damage. It looks fairly familiar. Domination. You garrote an adjacent creature's mind and control its actions while your own body lies dormant. That seems like maybe it's pretty dangerous, and honestly, it doesn't seem that good relative to beguiling. Mental attack versus a creature with a mind. This has a success roll. Domination does not have a success roll, so maybe as long as the thing you're attacking has a mind, this just works. Disintegration allows you to disintegrate stuff, you know. You are exhausted for 3 rounds after using this power. I'm assuming it can't damage creatures. Like, non-structural objects could mean a creature, but there's no way. This seems way too powerful for 3 points if it can harm enemies, right? Ego projection. Through sheer force of will, you perform uncanny physical feats. Augments 1 physical attribute by an amount equal to twice your ego bonus. Our ego bonus is only 1, but it could go up over time. And being able to project double that bonus to any other stat does seem like it could be useful. Force bubble gives you a force field. You may fire missile weapons through the force field. Nobody else can, one assumes. A wall of force is apparently a lot less good than a force bubble, given the much lower cost. Kindle lets you start a small fire with your mind. It seems pretty easy to start a small fire with your hands, so I'm not really sure why you would want that. We've seen the laser thing. It does seem cool. Mass Mind to refire all your mental mutations. Mental Mirror. Reflect mental attacks back at your attackers. Okay, that seems fine. We haven't really gotten to see a lot of mental attacks from enemies. Precognition lets you revert to the point in time when you first used this power. Duration between use and reversion, 16 rounds. So it lets you back up to 16 rounds, but you have to have prepared it ahead of time. I mean, I guess I could see the use. I'm assuming you can't trigger the fallback if you're dead. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good way to, like, test a new room for traps or lots of enemies or something. Okay, I could definitely see the use for this. Psychometry. You read the history of artifacts by touching them, learning what they do and how they were made. Unerringly identifies an artifact up to complexity 4. Bestows the ability to construct an identified artifact up to complexity tier 2. And you may open security doors. That's pretty cool, the ability to just build artifacts. I mean, I'm assuming that once we dig into the tinkering skill, that's what we'll use it for. But it's nice to be able to... And this says you must have the appropriate tinker power. I don't know how this is different from just tinkering a thing up to tier 2. Maybe with psychometry you don't have to have the ingredients or something? I don't know. Pyrokinesis is great. Sense psychic. Detect the presence of psychic enemies. Okay, that's fine. You sunder space-time. 3 points. You know, no big deal. You sunder space-time, sending things careening through a tear in the cosmic fabric. Summons a vortex that extinguishes anything in its path. You may enter the vortex to teleport to a random location in Khud. Just anywhere. I mean, I guess it's better than dying, but it might not be much better than dying. It might be dying in a turn or two. Stunning Force concusses enemies in a 7x7 area? Really? Creatures are pushed away from the center of the blast, stunned, and dealt crushing damage in up to 3 increments. Sunder Mind. Okay, it's just a damage. It's just a damage attack. Siphon Vim. Drains 1 hit point per round for 20 rounds. That seems like a big deal. Telepathy lets you chat with anyone in vision. Takes much less time to direct companions. I wonder if that means that I could be giving my companions orders normally, and it just takes time to explain it to them. Teleportation on a relatively shortish cooldown for 5 points. Teleport other, less useful. Time dilation. You distort time around your person in order to slow enemies. Creatures within 9 tiles are slowed, according to how close they are. Temporal Fugue lets you pass back and forth through time, creating multiple copies of yourself. Boy. What is even the... What would you... How does this work? You know what? We're not going to worry about it right now. Okay, so what do we want to do here? Like, if we want to make... Let's say we want to make a character who's... kind of... I would like to tinker, I think. I think that this is a system that seems like it's probably pretty important that we haven't fiddled with at all. So maybe we want to take psychometry? Learning what they do and how they were made. Yeah, I want to take psychometry. No, I don't want to continue without them. I want to add. I keep pressing enter, like enter is the key that's going to solve all of my problems. And then we want to be survivable, right? I think I like this. That leaves us with 4 points. So I have a mental mutation and a physical mutation, which means we can't take Chimera or Esper. But it does... Yeah, I really don't get why you would. And then... What was triple jointed? Triple jointed is also 4. I mean, like, an extra 2 agility just seems very useful. What if we just do that? We're triple jointed, 2-hearted, and we know all about the psychometry. Alright, now let's have a look at the defects and see how, like, if there are any that aren't totally debilitating, we could potentially take them in order to also get, like, what else would we get? Honestly, photosynthetic skin seems like it might save you a lot of trouble over the course of a game, in terms of having to eat. And obviously there's a lot of stuff like heightened hearing, or the thing that lets you generate light. That would also be pretty cool. Let's see how bad the defects are. Albino. Skin, hair, and eyes are absent of pigment. You regenerate hit points at 1/5 the usual rate while in daylight. That seems fairly bad. Amphibious. Your skin must be kept moist with fresh water. Oh man. You pour water on yourself rather than drinking it to quench your thirst. So you require more water than usual, but you do get frog reputation. We have not yet run out of water, but my suspicion is that's because we're dying so quickly. So I don't feel safe taking amphibious just yet. You lack a developed sense of pain. You can only determine your general state of health and not your actual number of hit points. I wonder how much of a problem this really is in practice. It seems like it wouldn't be so bad. Your face bears an unsightly beak. -1 ego, you can't wear anything on your face, but you do occasionally peck at your opponents. Honestly, that one doesn't sound so bad. As long as you make sure that you have an amount of ego such that -1, like, basically an odd number of ego, so that -1 ego doesn't change your ego modifier. This seems like a very minor penalty. I guess it matters when considering leveling up your ego later in the game, though. Cold-blooded. Your vitality depends on temperature. At higher temperatures, you're lively, but at lower, you're torpid. Base quickness score changes and then increases as your temperature increases. Plus 100 reputation with unshelled reptiles, because they can tell. They can just look at you and know. Brittle bones. Any kind of concussive damage is way more damaging. Seems dangerous, but, you know, not necessarily a huge deal if you're just real careful about enemies with cudgels. Electromagnetic impulse. Oh no, this is the thing we had on that other character, isn't it? So wait, what was the other electromagnetic thing? Oh, this one's triggerable. Electromagnetic impulse is not entirely under your control. That's why. Okay. Interesting. Hemophilia, it takes much longer than usual for you to stop bleeding. So, you know, just carry some bandages. Hooks for feet. You have hooks for feet. Cannot wear shoes because of the hooks for your feet. Myopia seems very dangerous. Spontaneous combustion. There's a small chance each round that you will spontaneously combust. I guess you really make sure you're carrying a lot of salt water if you have this one, so you can put yourself out when you need to. To be perfectly honest, some of those don't seem so bad. The beak, in particular, I'm thinking. You forget things and places in your immediate past. Anything you have not seen in the last 20 rounds disappears from your map. Wow! Wow, that's brutal. You teleport uncontrollably. There's a small chance each round you'll just teleport. Acting on some inscrutable impulse, a parallel version of yourself travels through space and time to destroy you. Each time you embark on a new location, there's a small chance a parallel version of yourself has tracked you down. That's worth 3 points? Really? I guess if the evil twin has gear, and you could take his loot after you kill him, then there are ways in which this is actually positive, so I guess that would make it a little bit lower in score than it might otherwise deserve to be. Narcolepsy, there's a small chance each round you fall asleep for 20 to 29 rounds. That's very serious. And socially repugnant. Others find it difficult to tolerate you in social settings. Hey, that's familiar. Merchants charge you 5 times the usual prices. Wow. And that's only a 2-point... These defects... You have to take some pretty serious penalties to get back mutation points. You know what? I think I'm happy just moving on here with what we've done. Okay, so... Oh, and then we're going to get more stat points from our calling. Okay. So, +2 ego, customs and folklore, intimidate, and proselytize. Argonaut gives us... Starts with random junk and artifacts, which is, you know, potentially interesting. Also, a whole bunch of extra agility, so our agility score is totally awesome. And it lets us start with tinkering and scavenger. We might go Argonaut, just because I want to play with the tinkering system. If you're a graybeard, bears love a graybeard. Everyone knows that. Gunslinger, of course, very fun. Extra agility is a big deal. Marauders start with the ability to kill people with axes. Pilgrims have willpower, self-discipline, and wayfaring. The Nomad starts with a recycling suit. Don't have any idea what that is. Don't have any idea what the Isachari are either. And Wilderness Lore Salt Pans. This guy, he's been some places. He knows some things. I don't know those things, but presumably he could tell us. The Scholar starts with some random wilderness lore and intelligence and tinkering. One assumes the Tinker will also start with tinkering. Plus 100 reputation with the Barathrumites. And also artifacts and scrap. So this gives 2 intelligence, a bunch of tinkering related skills, while the Arcanaut gives agility and some very basic tinkering, just scavenger. I think I still like this though, because we're probably going to want to be gun based in our self-defense, right? Wardens get a lot of... I'm assuming when it says long blade pistol, it's talking about the skill groups, right? Not that you start with a long blade and a pistol. Because there are some of these that... Yeah, like pistol, weak spotter, those are definitely the skills. I'm not sure exactly how we get our starting equipment. Well, whatever, let's not worry about it too much. A water merchant. Allowed entrance to many settlements for purposes of trade and starts to trade goods. Water vine farmers know how to cook a little bit. I think I like Arcanaut. Let's do Arcanaut. Okay, this is where we ended up. 24 agility. Is this a good build? I have no idea. Let's do it. Alright, so we're going to start in Joppa again, and I've had a lot of good luck so far with the random name generator. You embark for the Caves of Kud on the 6th of Simon Ut. Alright, so let's talk to people. We know there's a couple of quests in town now. Oh, no! I was gonna get the quest to see what's eating the water vine. And I cannot... Okay, I can hear a muffled grunting from coming from inside the block of ice. I'm gonna stand right here until he unfreezes. Mehmet is engaged in hand-to-hand conversation. Combat is too busy for a conversation. That's cowardice. So apparently this thing where the warden kills Mehmet is not actually that unlikely. Oh, he eavesdropped on a secret ceremony. Also, he is hated by cats for disproving a famous theorem. You know, cats take their scientific orthodoxy very, very seriously. How dare you suggest that we don't understand the universe? Not this cat, though. This cat doesn't care. Either that or this cat knows the warden has it under control. Okay, well, I'm pretty bummed out about that. I mean, the warden's gonna kill him, absolutely, right? I guess we just stay out of the way. Let that happen, and then... Really? It's nothing to take? It feels like there's stuff to take. Take all. And it didn't grab the human corpse. Hooray! I'm just gonna, once again, take all here. At least we're getting some stuff to sell. Sorry, everybody. Sometimes the wardens are a little meaner than others. So, we have not been attempting to take these stuff from these chests, but people suggested that I was in fact able to do this as long as I don't get caught doing it, so let's find out. A copper nugget. Okay. I mean, nobody saw nothing. I'm just gonna close this door. Everybody disregard me closing this door. Yes, I am sure I want to open the thing. Okay, cool. I'm assuming copper nuggets are just for trade. Ooh, a weird artifact. And a failed energy relay. Alright, let's grab all this stuff. So we have an artifact already for to gain us some XP. Talking to the guy in the southwest corner of town. This is... Okay, there's nothing in here. I'm assuming I will get in trouble if I try to open the chest that is being guarded by the merchant. The way is blocked by a shrine to Reshef, the last sultan. I would like to have a look at this shrine. In 3 AR, Reshef cleansed the marshlands of the plagues of the Gyre and taught Abram to sow water vine along its fertile tracks. Okay, cool. Let's pray. Doesn't seem to do anything at all, but I'm all about being respectful of people's weird religion while they are looking directly at me. Alright, let's go and let's go over here and get this quest. We know that this quest is always here. Where can I find such a cave? I will return with your knickknack. Hey, look, I did it. I found a knickknack. So, before we give him the knickknack, we are going to identify it, obviously. A phase conjugate poison gas grenade Mark 1 with a DB at the end of the name for some reason. A thick cylinder with a pull ring. It has a small violet crystal embedded in its side, giving off a faint shifting light. This explosive shifts phase immediately before detonating. So, does that mean that the gas that comes out is not in phase with the world around? I don't know what this means. I don't know how this would help us. Oh, let's read its early history with our psychometry. This artifact is too complex, in fact, for that kind of nonsense. Well, then I'm just going to give it to our dude here. Here's your knickknack. Oh, actually, I have a couple of things. Well, you know what? Take this, and we'll look at the other stuff here. All right, so we'll take the quest again. We have, in fact, got another knickknack. I should probably look at my inventory a little bit more closely. So, what am I wearing right now? A vinewood sap mask, an engraved bronze dagger. Is it engraved with anything in particular? Sure, a scene from the life of the ancient Sultan Muxermasp. While visiting an obscure tavern in Sad, and who hasn't been there from time to time, Muxermasp met with a group of explorers and commissioned an artifact that evoked the presence of a radiant mote of light. He named it Moticus. Okay. Well, yep, I recorded that information in case we need it later. Also, I have a defoliant grenade. So what does it do? It's a boat pipe with a pull ring. I don't know what defoliant means in this. I mean, so when you exfoliate, you're like sloughing off dead skin, right? Does defoliating remove... Maybe? Maybe it just removes skin? You abide the memory of the defoliant grenade Mark I's creation. You learn to build defoliant grenades Mark I. Well, that makes me feel like I could probably just give this grenade to this dude. Right? I think that's sensible. Here's your knickknack. Oh wow, you get 150. So do you get more XP every time you do this? Good, good. Quite impressive, treasure hunter. Maybe you're fit to poke around my workshop here. I've been wanting another apprentice. So unfortunate. What happened to Scref? What with the disembowelment and all? Take a seat there. Now, let me explain. I'm on the cusp of a grand discovery. When I'm done assembling the weird wire conduit, you'll be able to speak to anyone from here to Caiaphas. First, though, I'm going to need some copper wire. As much as you can find. At least 200 feet, geez. You should be able to scavenge enough from rust wells and nearby caves. Yeah, okay, I'll go fetch the wire, I guess. So, I mean, like I said last time, I was expecting that this was just a way you could turn in artifacts repeatedly for XP in case you, like, get stuck and you need to level up, but okay, that went well. So, 200 feet of copper wire. How heavy is 200 feet of copper wire, I wonder? Okay, tinkering. We have never actually gotten to look at the tinkering menu before. So how do we... If I wanted to build this thing, you don't have the required AA1 bits. So it says it's made of AA1. Oh, maybe A and 1 are different kinds of bits, so I need 2 A's and a 1 or something? I have no idea. Okay, well hold on. Let's go over to our skills. So tinkering. Much more successful at examining artifacts. We need 15 intelligence to disassemble, and we ended up 1 short of that. But if we can just get 280 XP, we'll get a stat point. We'll be able to push our intelligence up a level. Also, we do have a mutation point. So if we level up this thing, it'll make our dodge chance higher. If we level up Two-Hearted, it'll make our chance to randomly regain hit points higher. Honestly, that might be pretty good. If we do this, it'll let us construct an identified artifact up to complexity tier 3. We'll hold on to our mutation point for now, I think. Okay, back to skills. So we got 66 points on that level up. So yeah, next level we could get disassemble if we basically concentrate all of our level up resources on that. And tinkering is an intelligence-based thing. So probably, if you're going to make a character who wants to tinker, don't dump stat intelligence. Seems pretty straightforward, but apparently did not occur to me before. Whenever we step over garbage, we should get some stuff, and we'll get extra stuff from robots we destroy. So... Oh, you know what? Maybe the value of the part of psychometry where you get to build the things is that you don't have to have the intelligence necessary to learn the usual building parts of the Tinker skill. It lets you participate in the system even without having fulfilled the stat requirements. Maybe that's the main value. Okay, no more chests to steal from, so I guess let's go and talk to the merchant. Hey buddy, do I have some stuff for you? Actually, wait, hold on. Before I do that, though. Do we want to change out our weapon? So we have an electrified staff here. We don't have any power cells for it. When powered, this weapon deals an additional 2 to 3 electrical damage. So 3 penetration. Yeah, when powered, the damage on that's pretty okay. And we're currently using 3 penetration, 1d2 damage. It's like a bronze. Well, we don't want to go to two-handed sword because we small blades. But the Vine Reaper is an upgrade. Assuming that the Vine Reaper is in fact a small blade. Oh no, it is an axe. In fact, are they both? I'm assuming these will all be axes. Okay, so that's less good because we have some small blades, right? Or short blades? Wait, do we? Yes, okay, we have short blade expertise. So it would be nice to stick to that. And then also we have all this agility, so we can get really good with our short blade. Not that I want to be in melee, but, you know, it is an option that we have available to us, at least. So, alright, I think we're cool to sell an awful lot of this stuff, then. Let us trade, my friend. Now that I understand how the systems work, we should be okay at this. So these furs are quite valuable. Actually, hold on. I guess one more thing we need to do is actually figure out, like, what do I want to be wearing? So we have a Vinewood Sap Mask. Do we have anything else that fits in that slot? We have... no. So a woven tunic seems alright. Bark armor. What am I wearing armor-wise right now? This leather armor, which gives 2 damage. The diamond is armor value, right? I don't actually know what the circle is. We probably learned it. But okay, this actually seems like the best armor we could be wearing. We have shoes on. They are statistically not any different from these sandals, so okay, we can afford to sell all of that stuff. And I think all of our weapons, too. All of our spare weapons. We'll hold on to the arrows for now, but yeah, all of this stuff is going on the pile. So that's a fair amount of water's worth of materials there. Probably shouldn't sell any food. I'm going to hold on to the staff for the moment. Yeah, I will definitely sell a steel Vine Reaper. I don't want to sell any bits and bobs that we could use to actually create stuff. And then copper nuggets are very valuable, it seems. So, that's 86 drams worth of stuff. Wow, these strange tubes are valuable. Like a little bit valuable. Poison gas grenade. Because we could learn how to make poison gas grenades, right? The value of artifacts is a little different for this character than it has been for our previous characters, because we can use them to potentially make more stuff. There is a missile weapon here, and it's marked with a BA2. I don't really know what that means, but I do want a missile weapon. So, oh, sorry, I probably don't need 2 muskets, but please sell me a musket. And then... long swords are long blades, not short blades, obviously. The steel butcher knife is interesting, but it's also very expensive. I think I probably don't want to truck with that. I think we want to take some water here, right? So I don't want to go down to 0 value on this trade. We should probably get some bandages. Again, I should just hit enter. Let's take like 4 bandages. You know, just like be ready to deal with bleeding. I'm gonna not take the poison gas grenade, but we are going to take other food. I mean, the vine wafers are pretty much free, so we may as well grab them. And then I don't actually know. Do you use lead slugs with a? You might use lead slugs with a, what do you call it, with a musket. That's probably right. Yeah, let's take the trade like this. We'll get the water from him, and then we'll figure out what. Tab. Can we look at it? It does not actually make it clear what its ammo type is. It's got to be lead slugs. Yeah, I'm gonna just grab all his lead slugs. They're almost free anyway. Alright, offer. And yes, 34 extra drams of fresh water sounds great to me. Okay, let's take a moment and look at our options here. So we have a short bow, but I don't want a short bow. I want a big gun. Musket. Hold on, can I reload that? Yes, I can. Okay. Musket doesn't do like a huge amount of damage, but neither did the bow. And I like a gun. Yeah, like that's 1d8 is fine. Actually, 1d8 is better than fine. That's a pretty okay gun, even relative to the guns we were using last time. Okay, so we also have now a whole bunch of fresh water, which is great. What is the functional difference between a canteen and a water skin? Maybe nothing? Yeah. I guess one of them's not made out of a goat. So burnt capacitors are A, cracked lens is B, failed energy relay is 1, and microchips are D? Oh, you know what? Is this a thing we could... No, we cannot learn from it. Can I learn from my gun? Is this an artifact? Yes, read early history. You learn to build muskets. Seems like a really good idea, right? So the musket is marked as BA2. Does that mean that's what we would get from breaking it down? Okay, yeah, so the BA2, that's the materials you would need. We have nothing in our bit locker. We'd have to break down the scrap in our inventory? Is that how this works? Burnt capacitors. It's not that they are A, it's that they become A when you... And hold on a second. Sorry, everybody. How does this skill work? Oh, right, I don't have disassemble yet. That's how you have to pick up disassemble before. Okay, let's go gain a level. We have a musket. We have some skills now. What was I going to do? I was going to go try to find a bunch of copper wire. Did we get a quest from talking to the boss of town, or did he just tell us to go see the tinker? Is there work to be found here, my friend? You can chat with the little Argive. The moisture farmers are having trouble with cave vermin. I can't speak with Mehmet because he's dead. So I guess live and drink, my friend. Did Ulrag give a quest? Oh no, he's the one who doesn't really speak all that well. Okay, let's just move on, I guess. I know how to go to the world map. I know it seems like I don't, because I keep not going to the world map correctly, but... Is there a building at the back of the graveyard here, or is this just... I mean, I guess we should check in there in case there's a chest. This character is an unrepentant thief. Nope, for some reason there's just a tombstone here. Now, I know this is... I'm trying to look at the thing here. There we go. In memory of Far, choked on a voider gland. You know, I just wouldn't eat anything called a voider. Alright, let's have a look at this shrine here. A shrine to Muxermasp, the Pest of Mightum. Hey, I'm familiar with that. The life of Muxermasp. While traveling through the historian city-state of Duramrod, Muxermasp stopped at a market in Alawar Steeple. At an obscure shop, he purchased a luminous breastplate and named it Luminous Bliss Muxermasp Friend. Then he went to a nearby tavern and immediately lost Luminous Bliss Muxermasp Friend in a game of dice. He cursed the tavern and left Alawar Steeple. Why did he even name it? If you're just going to buy a thing and then immediately gamble it, wait to name it until after you have successfully not lost it gambling. Well, we could go visit Duramrod, but my suspicion is that doing so would get us killed. So let's just... boy, what is my plan here? Oh, also, people told me, you can use the look command on the world map. Very useful. I did not realize that this was a thing. Okay, Red Rock. What is this? This is Duramrod. Well... I mean, what are the odds that I immediately die upon going here? I'm very curious, though. We're gonna go, and we'll just run away really fast if we have to. God, I hope we don't die immediately. Let's go to Duramrod. Hey, look, 250 XP. That is not quite a level, is that right? Like, it's very close? Yeah, 30 XP. Okay, we can do this. We can get 30 XP. Who are you, friend? Oops, it seems like there we go. I want this thing to function in unlocked mode. It is hostile. The dilute salty cannibal and member of the Pest of Mightum Church. This stout human's bare skin is pallid from years of abstaining from sunlight. He is, out in the sunlight right now, obviously, but usually not. His eyes are glazed and bestial. Isolation has rendered him more of a beast than a man. But he can still hold a club, and he is of average toughness. And you have a musket. Okay, 15 damage. Reload musket. I will take this club. So, wait, how much XP did we get from that? It wasn't enough, obviously. Oh, God. I just pressed the button a bunch of times. There are feral dogs. Wait, are these feral dogs members of the church? Yes. And they're swarmers. Boy, they snuck right up on us, huh? So... this seems like maybe a moment for a sprint? People were like, hey, you should use sprint sometimes, because you have sprint, and it seems like a good idea, and I agree. Oh, God. There are many enemies. Well, we do have weapons. We could just fight. I am inclined to flee. Am I getting shot at by something? Yeah, there's wooden arrows flying past me, because there are snapjaws shooting at us. From the northwest and the south, or from the northeast and the southeast. We're so close to being in a good spot here, like, level up and skill-wise. I'm gonna shoot this dog. Okay. Our gun's really good. Unfortunately, if we reload it, we're gonna take a couple of hits here. I'm gonna just really quickly put some points in some things. I don't really know how we're going to get away. We are going to grab... oh, sorry, I can't grab disassemble yet because I haven't given myself the intelligence. Okay. Now, we take disassemble. And look at that, we did it. We got disassemble. We may yet die, but we got disassemble. So how would we escape here? It seems like running to the east is pretty dangerous, because we know that that's the direction we're being shot from. And it's not clear to me whether these dogs will fight the snapjaws or not, so I think what I'm going to try to do is go south-ish. Okay. We're not getting hit all that much, and the dogs are absolutely attacking the snapjaws. So we're so good at evading projectiles that... why am I green? I don't know. We're so good at evading projectiles that this is actually working. I think we're slightly outrunning the dogs. Oh, God. There's so many angry things. I don't know what my plan is here. We can't just lose them. Yeah, okay. I got a little bit of distance, reload, and like if I get a little bit of distance again, we shoot somebody. Because it does look like some of the enemies are losing interest in us, right? I missed the snapjaw I was shooting at, and I hit the other snapjaw, it looks like. You know what? I'm just going to reload in place. He refuses to speak to me. That's not the button I wanted. Okay. I think we pretty much won that. Honestly. And now we're in a position here where we can go ahead and tinker, presumably. Let's eat something. Because we are hungry. Sated and quenched, just as nature intended. And let's try to disassemble some stuff. Maybe I should run to safety first, but not doing it. Okay, disassemble. So I created a D. Yeah, I think I correctly understood how this works. And that'll create... Oops, that's not what I wanted. I want to press space, then hit M. It looks like there's not a way to bulk disassemble, maybe? That's fine. Okay, so we have some materials now. Now we can tinker. So all I needed to do was step in here, and I've completed the quest, right? Somewhere there is the Luminous Bliss Muxer Masp friend, and that is a thing that we care about, kind of. But I have no idea how to find it. So we have the materials to create a defoliant grenade. Well, I would like to do it then. And then we're gonna equip that. Thrown weapon, defoliant grenade. And do we want to go back up there? I mean, maybe we could try to find Muxer Masp friend. Maybe it's here. This is where he lost it, right? We have to be very careful, and also we have to make sure our musket is always reloaded. See some loot over this way. So let's go get that loot. Oh, hey, how you doing? Reload. This musket's pretty alright, man. I'm feeling good about it. Just take all that stuff. Oh, hey, look, it's all the enemies. Reload. Oh, no, sorry, not this. Fire weapon that way. Okay, there we go. Took a little tap there, just a little tiny love tap. Everything's fine. Cloth robe and an iron battle axe. All seems like stuff that could be sold. I'm stuck. I stepped in a web. Can I just wiggle free? Yes, I can. What did I step in exactly? Huh. Sap. Well, we do have an empty water skin. We may as well take the sap. I don't know how you do that. Just scoop it in there really gently. So we are at 176 of 225. Okay. And these are just corpses? Okay. Reload musket. No. Do I want to reload the musket, or do I want to just smash this dude? I miss. He hits me. I mean, ammo seems to actually be fairly plentiful as long as you have trading stuff. I'm just going to use my gun. Yes, he does refuse to speak with me. I'm going to be pressing the wrong button for forever. Eventually I will learn how to play the game, probably. Bronze daggers and stuff. I mean, this all sells well. So is it possible that Muxer Masp friend is actually around here somewhere? Look at that guy trying to be sneaky. He is hard to kill. I'm going to reload, and I'm going to kill the, yeah, that guy. I failed to... He's not penetrating my armor with his bite, so maybe we're not in a huge amount of damage here. I'm still going to shoot him. Reload. Shoot him. Uh-oh. I missed. They're kind of just letting me do this. Like, I mean, I'm getting hit, obviously, critically hit sometimes. Why am I having such a hard time hitting this damn dog? I'm actually kind of getting my butt kicked here. I'm only hitting for one with my engraved bronze dagger. He is injured. I think it's better to reload, even though we're taking 2 actions each time we fire. I think it's better to reload and fire because the gun's really powerful, but we are actually getting killed, so I'm going to back off a little bit here. We can outrun them some of the time at least. And all I need is a little bit of extra, yeah, like this. A moment to reload. There we go. I don't know why I couldn't shoot him there. Is that... I've been snuck up on by a croc. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't shoot him in that particular place. It seems like... Maybe he was in the vine. Oh, hey, my heartbeats are synchronizing. 3 HP. Yeah, maybe he was being obstructed by the vines, so I couldn't get a clean shot. We actually healed really quickly. Where'd the hunter go? I don't know. This makes me very nervous. The fact that we know there's a Snapjaw hunter running around here and we just don't know where. I do want to check the bodies and stuff here. Ooh, stuff that's covered in sap. Well, I mean, it all goes in the bag. Figure it out later. And then water skin full of blood, you know, just in case we need a bunch of blood. Was that 64 drams of blood that I just took? Brackish bloody water. You know what? That's not necessary. Let's just go ahead and pour that just on the ground. I thought I was collecting raw blood. No. Hold on. I don't want to... Oh, I see. I have to pour nearby and then select a direction. Pour it all out. There we go. You can't just empty it. You have to empty it into a space. Okay, enemies. I hit him, but the other one just disappeared. And we are definitely being shot at, so he can see me, but I can't see him. I'm glad we bought a gun. There we go. Ooh, black robes. Fancy. Where did the other guy die? Right here. I mean, we got to be getting close to our weight limit, right? No, don't take them all. An iron battle axe. Probably pretty valuable. Also, boarskin gloves. Am I wearing gloves at all? Please equip. I think we're cool just moving on, so we should probably go back to town and sell stuff. Kind of hoping that we would discover Muxermasp friend. Oh, apparently up here is where we would do that. What's up with these guys? Oh, you know, just Naftali. Just a whole bunch of Naftali that are now probably fairly mad at me, and also some additional dogs and stuff. Well, we found the church, so let's run away. It's like one of the Naftali followed. My gun's not reloaded. If we come up over here, a little bit further to the side, there's still a lot of them. I noticed that all of the dogs that were over here are maybe... Oh, the dogs were fighting the Naftali. Interesting. The Naftali are really not cool with people being around. So this is a chrome idol. But it's a sentient guy. It's a robot. We found a robot. I'm gonna just like bail here a little bit and let's see. Will the Snapjaws fight? Boy, I really pissed off the Naftali this time. I should have left the first time. Do I want to try to... I'm going to go around the water. I was going to say, do I want to just try to get in the water and make it harder for them to follow us? Right, I'm going to run them down to the next screen to the south where our lines of sight are a little bit clearer. And we're going to start shooting. Reload. Start running. I might have made an error here. The good news is they're going nuts and attacking all of the wildlife, which doesn't seem like good news for the wildlife necessarily, but it's good news for me. Uh-oh. I hit him non-fatally. That's the worst thing that could possibly happen to us. His dudes are following him, so I don't feel safe stopping to reload. Alright, we got ourselves a space here. He attacked and misses, and I shoot him in the face. God, there are so many of them coming. So every once in a while, we get an extra step. Although they also sometimes get extra steps, it seems. Reload. Did I hit him? I did hit him, which is not hard enough for it to matter. I'm assuming this thing's going to be hard to kill with a gun. Although, obviously, if you miss him, that's super true. So is it clear to me... Oh, you know what? I do have this grenade. Why don't we try the grenade? I don't remember how to... Throwing weapon. T. T is for throw your thrown weapon. I would like to throw it at that guy. Alright, how do I view our whole log? Because there's definitely a way. I just wanna look at the log and see exactly what we accomplished there. Status stuff, movement stuff. This is not a debug issue. Apparently, for debug purposes, in case you need to cut off your own limbs. I'll go sidebar, cycle sidebar mode. Is there not a key I can press? Show message history, Control M. Here we go, okay. So, your defoliant grenade Mark 1 hits the Naphtali Stalker. It takes 2 damage. Oh, the grenade itself did 2 damage, like, as a projectile. And then it blew up. Wait, what did it do? The Bloody Chrome... It's for 2 damage to their manipulator. Chrome Idol and member of the Pestilmentum Church hits for 7 damage with their manipulator. It's not clear to me... These messages do not make it clear to me what is being hit, which is a little awkward. Defoliant. The synthetic mist called Golden Dawn ascends from its canister to atomize leafage and leave a clear view of the horizon in its wake. Okay, so maybe not actually all that useful as a weapon. It sure does destroy foliage, though. Alright, got ourselves an extra step. Let's just keep running until we get an extra step again. I took some damage there. Yeah, I'm getting caught here pretty badly. So this guy's covered in blood, but he's still in perfect health. Oh, we might be in a little bit of an awkward situation here. I was leery of going on to the next screen because obviously it's dangerous to just go into a place where there could be more enemies. But we are going to have to figure out a plan here in the real near future. Alright, let's splatter that dude. No, let's not accomplish anything at all, in fact. And they're just getting faster. I need to sprint again. This way. You begin sprinting. It's not helping. I'm taking more damage than ever, and I'm not losing them at all. Okay, now I'm losing them a little bit. Nope, I died. I died. It is not clear to me whether that sprint was actually helping. I guess I need to get a better grasp of exactly how speed works. I know if you have more quickness, I think the way it works is that you sort of build up fractional turns until you have done that enough to get a whole extra turn. So it's not clear to me when I'm going to get extra movement or how running away works. That's the thing I need to dig into and pay more attention on the next one. But I do feel like we at least now know how tinkering works. There was some value in that. I'm a little embarrassed at how easily I died after spending so much time building the character. I think there's a pretty good chance that what we're going to do for the next one is just build that same character again, but try to be a little bit better with it. So that's going to be it for us for today, and thank you all so much for watching and for commenting and, for doing all the stuff that you all out there do. Come back next time, tomorrow. We're just going to do take 2 there on that particular character. And we'll see you then.